Hey folks, before we start, I want to say that this is part 2 of my tutorial series, so if you haven't watched the sculpting basics, please start there, link is in the description.
Decorating with Deivos.
Guten Tag! In this video I want to talk about scaling and proportions of sculptures, and also want to show you some methods I am using to make sure I stay on track whilst building. My preferred room choice for sculptures is the open space room, for many reasons. It has 1600 capacity, it's the largest non-Deviri room. I don't necessarily have to craft a 360-degree mask, which saves a lot of capacity I can use for the sculpture instead.
Yeah, boy.
And the weird lighting mechanics of the dojo is not as aggressive as in hall-sized rooms. Of course you can build in any other room too, but like I mentioned in the previous video, the bigger the scale, the more items become available for the project, so keep that in mind. Depending on your project, you want to leave enough space between the sculpture and the room borders. There's nothing more frustrating than to realize you're too close to the room borders when it's already too late. And trust me, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, no.
So, in my opinion, the center of any room is always a good spot. Whenever I need to figure out where the center of an open space room roughly is, I use the almighty Ostron cable. This is by far my most used item in the dojo when I'm building. I use it as a ruler, measurement tool, framing device. Hell, I even use it to write in the dojo. So, to find the center of an open space room, select the cable, max scale the cable, put grid snap to 1 meter, place the holy cable down in the center near the end of the starting platform. Attach 6 more cables to the first cable. Yes, that's 50 cables if your math is wrong. And done. If you want to build a symmetrical body, like a mech for example, I advise building it in a straight orientation for starters. That way you can still use the grid snapping system if needed, which won't be as useful if you build diagonally. Scaling your project properly can do your build a big service if done right. There are multiple ways to go about this topic. The easiest way to scale your project is using your Warframe. This is helpful when you want to build vehicles or mechs with an accessible cockpit, for example. If you don't want to walk back and forth the entire time, use a small object, scale it to the size of your Warframe, and place it around in your build whenever you want to check if you're still on track. A simple way to make things appear bigger or smaller than they are is by using perspective or by crafting smaller/bigger objects around your sculpture to create the illusion of scale. If you want to make an object appear bigger, build miniatures of big objects around it. One of the best examples to show off the wonders of scaling is Xbox Clan Spectrum. Ike Project and his decorating team were kind enough to let me film in their dojo for this tutorial. If you want to see this massive dojo for yourself, we have an entire tour video on this channel, or you visit them whenever they are featured on the star chart. Getting proportions right is the make or break of sculpting. The method I'm using is pretty simple. I stumbled across these pictures when I simply googled body proportions. And this method is applicable to mechs or other things as well. So whenever I'm building, I use the length of the head as measuring unit for the body and limbs. Yes, this also applies to There is of course a bit of leeway when it comes to this method. Just make sure you roughly hit the spots and you're good to go. Unlike certain alliance leaders who thought they are going to be safe from being memed in this video.
You skip leg day, faith no 45. Your sculptures got chests like truck trucks, but legs like toothpicks. Standing tall, but your foundation's weak. You're top heavy man, it's hard to believe.
Alright, that concludes the video. I hope this will help you fellow decorators to step up your dojo game. Feel free to contact us on Discord or Xbox. And don't skip leg day.